everyone.
Tashi delay. Sheila, Ken, everyone.
Hello, oh, okay. So,
Tashi delay Sheila.
delay. Okay, so we do prostration. Namo manjo shiri ye namo zo shiri ye namo o dhamma shiri zo ha o namo manjo shiri ye namo zo shiri ye namo o dhamma shiri zo ha o namo manjo shiri ye namo zo shiri ye namo o dhamma shiri zo ha Yedang zoge jonan la chancho badu dani gyabso che dagi chunye kibe tsonangi yola benje sangye roma yo. Yedang zoge jonan la chancho badu dani gyabso che dagi chunye kibe tsonangi yola benje sangye roma yo. Yedang zoge jonan la chancho badu dani gyabso che dagi chunye kibe tsonangi Dola benje sangye doba jo je begi jo je me do zhang ri ra lin shi ni de gen ba de sangye shin do mi de wa yu zhe gen nang da xin la zhe ba jo yi da yin gu ru ran na men da la kan ni ya da ya ni Please adjust your sitting posture to 7 meditative postures of Varachana. And think, all sentient beings have been my mothers, and all sentient beings have been my mothers for numberless times. They are as kind as my mothers of this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness, and do not want even a small suffering. However, due to engaging wrongly in relation to objects of adoptions and abandonment, they only experience suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings had excellent happiness. May all kind mother sentient beings have excellent happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if the body of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the factors discordant with accomplishing virtues, such as pain, sickness, and problems caused by 4 elements. May the body of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the factors discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the body of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as mental suffering, and conceptual and subtle conceptual, coarse and subtle conceptual thoughts. May the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue, coarse and subtle negative speech such as telling lies. May the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. In brief, how nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. I will free all sentient beings from suffering and its causes. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate bodhicitta first by asking ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms in particular? I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms in particular. However, I do not have the ability to do so now. Who has such abilities? Only those who have achieved the perfect, complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mothers sentient beings, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment. Next, we cultivate all-encompassing yoga mind, the aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a white mundis at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming in one taste with emptiness, the lack of inherent existence. That transform into a white five-pronged vajra on top of the mundis. Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while, that I exist neither inherently one with, nor inherently different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist inherently. And as I always say, that it is very important to conjoin the activities of our three doors with the practice of six perfections. So the first one is generosity, and the nature of generosity is the mind or the intentions of giving. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever that I accumulate, I give it for the sake of pacifying the sufferings of all sentient beings and to achieving the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. Next is morality. And the nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will do so with a mind that abandons my physical and my verbal negativities. Next is patience. The nature of patience is an undisturbed mind. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will accept all physical and mental hardships. Next is joyous effort. Joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtuous object. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will take delight in accumulating virtues and working for the welfare of sentient beings. Next is meditative concentration. It is a mind that single-pointedly focuses on any virtuous object. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the intended object and not influenced by conceptual thoughts and distraction. Next is wisdom. Wisdom is a mind that is an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever the teachings that we listen, then I will try my best to understand the meaning of those teachings. Set motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I will listen to the holy teachings and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings. So previously, I talked about how to conjoin the morality with the 6 perfections, and then we covered the patience already. So the things that I haven't mentioned in previous class is how to conjoin patience with the practice of 6 perfections. So the first one is generosity of patience. So basically, you cause those who do not cultivate patience to cultivate patience. And morality of patience is when one cultivates or when one meditates on patience, one also cultivates the minds of abandonment that abandons the discordant class with patience, discordant class of patience. So patience of patience is as long as one generates patience in one's mind, one continuously cultivate patience, then is patience of patience. And joyous effort of patience is a mind that has to generate the mind that takes delight in cultivating patience.
se ji do shwa de la sebi sangde la nan ji go
Sobe
sebi o
nangde.
sebi li tande sebi li nande de lo ma yo se ji do shwa la da kan da sebi sangde es nan ji go.
So meditative concentrations of patience is one focus the mind on the objects of patience without getting distracted.
Da sebi shela sewa de ngaso da re da seba gombi pian da seba mo go me ni de so de shita shi ba de juma ina da sebi shela also.
And wisdom of patience is one developed understanding of the benefits of patience, benefits of cultivating patience, and the disadvantages of not cultivating patience.
Oh, da ngaso seba la pashi tu jao de da nang ji ngaso pe seba gombi nyang le jeba ina da da de nang shi pe so so de seba ji bon ya la pashi tu ga nyang le ji sin to ba chi. Da de ji juma ina da e ji shi ji wa. Mazu nang ji pe ge wa na ji tu ba ina mazu nang ji ta ba ji shi ba ni shi. Pashi tu la pa ja ni sang tang tu ba ina. Da ne ta ne ya si chang ji so ba nyang le da yo do me do pashi tu ro wa. Da de so so ge wa kan ji tu ba ina. 아마도 세바 값도 지고 세바 공부이나 세바 반대서만 마시 기본 마시 세바 코로나가 다시 또 상황 되지 상황 되버이나 쉬지로와.
Yeah. So this is how we should practice in relation to when we cultivate patience. So even though we even though we cultivate patience, it's kind of like one practice. However, if you conjoin it with 6 perfections, the benefits that you will receive will be much greater. So even though it's just one virtuous actions, and once it is one is conjoined with the 6 perfections, then that are the practice of bodhisattvas, then the virtue one will accumulate, will become very powerful.
다 시바 젠지 마티리스로 다데 마 세바 인지 차와 다 젠지 원이 마디야리와.
So now I will talk about joyous effort.
다 젠지 시바 젠지 데라 젠지 지고라이 길라지 송도와 다 송게 간다 가서 나지 너도 바카드시나 오트다 게워드와 신지 텐션이 생겨 봐도 이 카드 자잖아 딱 되고도 배자는 내가 같이 빠지바 시바이나야 디크리 가지고 쓰기라 요시나 같이 마음이 카드 위에서야 게워드와 신지 텐션이 생겨 봐도 빛이 챙기기 전에 와 지단 가서 게워도 또 있으면 봐도 집이 챙기 추송가 그래 게워도 신지 텐션이 생겨 봐도 와서 다 빛이 챙기기 전에 생각이 드는.
So how to train in joyous effort, and this has 3 points: the nature of joyous effort, its subdivisions, and how to generate it in one's mind stream. So the nature of joyous effort, as it says on the text, Bodhisattva levels explains joyous effort as a mind that is truly delighted to gather virtue and work for the welfare of sentient beings. See, in general, when we talk about joyous effort, so joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtue. So if you define joyous effort in that way, then that is the joyous effort common to the small capacity being, medium, and also great capacity of being, great capable being. So if you say that joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in gathering virtue and work for the welfare of sentient beings, then this becomes the joyous effort of great capable being.
이와도 마시오리 그러와 고치 진도 다 개와 치디 진도 신지 대주 진도 인지 소와 다만서 되는 우리 시대 기단 가졌다 예당 디서 너무나 뭐요 다 다는 가서 가도 좀 우리 가도만 스테이지를 계속해 고치 진도 와 개와 치디 신지 대주 진도에서 쓰나 다 고치 진도는 가서 봐 가도 봐 너도 고대고 시작이나 고치 진도는 로빈 이거 전부 쉬게 돼 저는 신앙만다가 니바 첨부지 간디 니바 첨부스나 벨로데 데디지 고고 간다 신지 찌게 된다래 네 대지야 신지 찌게 된다 두야 치도 냐와라 때 와 까바 야단 데네 데상지 공부 토바라 타비 공부 토요나 데라페 신 가와다 또와치 데라도 하장 세 shum바메 봐 가와다 또와치 인디질라다 고치 생기서 고치 생기도 때로 누가죠 이도 채우지 우리들이 내가 거기 도도시는 이제 고르고
So patience, in relation to patience, if you talk about the subdivisions of patience, there are many divisions of patience. However, in this text, in Lamrim, then it is divided into 3 kinds of joyous effort: armor-like joyous effort of gathering virtuous phenomena, and the joyous effort of working for the welfare of sentient beings. So to talk about this, the first one, armor-like joyous effort, is a very extraordinary, strong kind of mind. So if you were to summarize what an armor-like joyous effort is for this, in order to work for the welfare of even one sentient being, for the sake of working for the welfare of one sentient beings, if you have to stay in hell for 100 eons, then you will happily do it. You will happily do it, or delightfully do it, without any discouragement. So if you will achieve the state of liberation or the state of enlightenment, that you have to stay in hell for 100 eons, then you will happily do so, even just for the sake of achieving the welfare of one sentient being.
다 고치 전에서 된비집에 뭐 휴청문이 버청문이 다 해등아 치중 배답에 ছেলেলাপে 하장에 등아 휴청문 관리 영바이나 다도 준비 찾아라 전주 중앙지대 신제지 대구야지 빈디 좀 다도 따지면 찾아 와 당와서 고차스 배자고야데 고치기 상비 고차 전바 와서 고차 전주도 고차를 배샤고야 지서 가서 고차서 와서 지단 통해서 뭐 만도에 가서 고차 원도 들어와 두로라고 가려고 들어와我是这么我的但是说骂了的背下呢骂了的고차要不及要不呢但是你到山东각기就是下场论路途要嘛是吧更多嘛是被说了包括全部的每个全部的的现场没有差不多现场没有是吧但是搞的球呢很多嘛这是现场有过嘛是吧但是说 CS 说了每个有有嘛是吧我电脑是上班的被고차全班那些上的고차全班那些这个被上班的你都全部也是我的过去真的是吧那过去真的是你这个你都全部去我这里边的我那些呢我说甚至这个谈到了被鸟了人都把了搞不家电上去是公报头发的他把头了头跟东西呢这了搞啊多就里的行上的话上班的我这边甚至这个谈到的平老板都是呢上去是公报头是呢这刚一话同不行这老不嘛的我这了搞啊多了是这搞来考不的话当然是对的毛公白呢
Yeah, so this Amalai joyous effort is a very extraordinary, strong kind of mind, because even as if one will achieve enlightenment by working for the welfare of all sentient beings, that you have to stay in hell for 100 eons, then the person with the Amalai joyous effort, they will happily do so without any discouragement. So even if a bodhisattva will delightfully endure such great suffering, even for the sake of one sentient beings, don't mention the sufferings don't mention the small sufferings that the bodhisattva has to endure. So definitely they will do so. They will happily do so. So this armor-like joyous effort is, as it likened to an armor. So it's like if one is an army if an army go to a war, and then if he put on a very strong, solid, powerful armor, then he will fight without any fear, right? Because he or she knows that by wearing this armor, then he will be fully protected. So even no matter what weapon the enemy use, whether it's a spear, gun, or etc., then he will be fully protected by wearing this. So if a practitioner has put on this armor-like joyous effort, then he will be fearless. He will happily endure the suffering for the sake of other sentient beings. So this Amar-like joyous effort, why do we say that it is extraordinary? If we do not practice or cultivate joyous effort at all, and then it's not that easy. So like, for example, for the sake of other sentient beings, if one were, if you have to cut your arm for the sake of other sentient beings, that is not easy to do so, right? So this Amar-like joyous effort is said to be extraordinary. Then the joyous effort of carrying virtuous phenomena is to apply oneself to them for the sake of accomplishing the 6 perfections. So basically, you engage in any virtuous activity in order to accomplish the 6 perfections is the joyous effort. That you happily do so.
That's indeed dangerous. That's indeed dangerous. That's indeed the since they chedo kanda zunji zomba since sen digi chedo inanda se shimigi chedo inanda e kanda kanda sen di shimigi kanda da kanda zunji zomba de since they zunji se.
And the joyous effort of working for the welfare of sentient beings basically refers to putting effort in accomplishing the welfare of all sentient beings in these lives and in future lives. Then that is a joyous effort of working for the welfare of sentient beings.
That is what I want. Samba jila Jesus. That samba jila Jesus. Tida katuba dodo na jila na samba jila Jesus na ta kanda senji tsumbe pyo da ma tsumbe ni la saba tendi semba jila Jesus tenda dodo china dire. Rowa senji tsumbe pyo da ma tsumbe ni sem.
So how to generate in one's mind stream basically is how to generate a joyous effort in one's mind stream by thinking about the benefits of cultivating patience and the disadvantages of not cultivating patience.
Nani chodo juba tsendi tanga su tsendi siwade chena ngade diki siwade uma njubale songore songore anda yende mali tsendi jendo shise yende mali bada tsendi ki jesu ndu yesego so jila toba chichi ndu kandi chego da tsendi ki jesu ndu tsendi la tini chuma chima to tsendi me bala ta yende toba chichi ndu kandi jina da yuma ndu ma yesego wa de chodo ngani tan jite jitendan di bigi so kandi ina zendu de cho de so zendu de cho wa da zendu de la tine de kada yesu so bi dewa yende gawa karina chanda togres dilawo.
So the benefits of undertaking joyous effort are as described in Ornament for the Mahayana Sutras, also in the Middle Way treatise as well. So it says that all qualities arises in dependence on joyous effort. So all qualities that includes realization, whether it is a great realization, the intermediate one, or small realizations, they arise in dependence on joyous effort. Without joyous effort, there is no way for them to arise. So similarly, the mundane and supramundane qualities, whether qualities or excellences, and also happiness. So all these arise in dependence on joyous effort.
tabatoni ranja da ju matabore tiji chanju batu yeso.
So similarly, the enlightenment of hearers, solitary realizers, and Mahayana enlightenment as well. All these are achieved. All these are achieved through the joyous effort, through putting joyous effort in in realizing the wisdom, realizing selflessness. So through putting effort in realizing the wisdom, realizing selflessness.
그 파신 디발의 소도 용서 좀 전주스는 다 간다. 용서 좋아 나도 미비 전주스 나도 전주스와도 배 전주디어서 배 나와다 좋아서 용어야 말아. 이 전주 바도 통여로 와. 이 데디 나와다 좋아 미비 전주 쳐보지 여바이나 다 간다 연대 마토바 여바리 연대 만두바 가야 여 말에 소도 이바 소소게 토자 강이바 데 마토바 여 마토바 요 말에 두고야 된다 두고야 가려나 소소게 내가지 된다 두고이나 타두지 된다 두고이나 가르 두고이나 만두가 염에서 아전도 되기나 로와 ወደ 내가 소소페나 센데기 지지 데로노서 비주서 비즈서 바요나 젠들라 되는 부분에서 다 다도 타바다 탄지지 공부토야도 인디 토그는 젠들라 되는 부분에서 데디 젠도 야부제바나 모토다 모르서 데디게 도하나야 요 말에서 간다로와
And the compendium of the perfections also says that there is nothing that cannot be attained, that cannot be accomplished, for those who have great joyous effort and do not dismay or discourage. So, so with joyous effort, in those who have joyous effort, there is one will not feel, one do not have the discouragement, and then one do not have fatigue as well. So those fatigue and also discouragements are eliminated by cultivating joyous effort in oneself. So if one has great joyous effort, then there is nothing that cannot be attained. There is nothing that cannot be accomplished. So in other words, so if whatever the object of attainment there is, you with joyous effort, you can attain it, you can accomplish it, and then you can accomplish your temporary and also ultimate purposes as well. So temporary purposes, for example, the happiness in this life, and also excellences in this life, then those can be accomplished by cultivating joyous effort. Then similarly, the ultimate purposes, such as achieving liberations and achieving the state of enlightenment, these also can be accomplished by cultivating joyous effort.
때문에 양자 간다 미끼나 때라 템박 같이 가서 양자 이 버시디 버디 타오도와 다 되어 되다 되게 송도와 다 사다 넣어서 뭐 많이 벌와 사다 넣어서 뭐 많이 벌 트란지 간다 트렌디다 템바 때라 템바치야다 가와치와다 때라 로바치와다 보치야 디가고야 레스고 트렌디다 템바 때라.
Similarly, from the compendium of the perfections, it also says that all non-humans like to benefit him. So all non-humans, whether it's a Naga beings or the God beings and etc., so they like to benefit him, they like the person with joyous effort, and then they will help the person with joyous effort.
다 저기서 dembaina 띵인지 너무 군장루를 해서와 다 띵인지 간디나 참아 도구도리 해서와.
So similarly, he will achieve all manners of all kinds of concentration with joyous effort. Then the practitioner will achieve all kinds of concentrations.
다 띵인지 개월라 진도인데 다 띵인지 여바이나 다 띵인지 개월라 진도인데 띵이나 다 년생지 딘nomba 그냥 간다. 소소근 제부디 딜라 있는 해서 띵인지 야부 여바이나 와 개월라 진도인데 띵인지 딘도 띵인지 여바이나 다 띵인지 제부디 소소 그냥 ninsi tidula kanda jebudi njungu ka degri hese jebi uri hese jendi yo vaina ke jebu tidula jendi jebudi sosola ni ka uri hese.
So he passes days and nights experiencing results. So it means that if a practitioner, if one has a joyous effort, then he has the joyous effort, continuous joyous effort in accomplishing virtue, then he will passes day and nights experiencing the results of joyous effort. So this joyous effort is a very amazing qualities to have or to cultivate, because it says that through methods of excellent qualities, he won't decline. Meaning that if one has a joyous effort, the excellent qualities, the excellent qualities will not decline. Rather, it will grow higher and higher.
Medo opala sewa de karisma di kanda sabe chunjuji la kanda dumbo chimboda dribu mabunju washi sabe chunjuji ma dio mare sewa medo opala sabe chunjuji la kanda chunjuji la dumbo chimboda dribu mabunju dan dribu mabunju wa dan dribu mabunju dribu mabaya pedo ro ewa nashi de ngatu chunju yobana tuse da yebe sama pedo yese dan medo opala nashi dan medo opala sewa de karisma ngai hapo Anda the bell yo maris Jaho sansa to me ores legend. Jada hawks and Jaho. So in this sansa like yours that the day.
Oh, that how you read like that. Oh, said the Gaga.
Javana which is Jabik sansa that you love me.
Gaga in sansa.
Oh, there is sansa to yours. Means well around me is a routine.
And then he will flourish like an upala flower. So meaning that his excellent qualities will flourish like an upala flower. So I have never seen upala flower. I don't know, and I heard that upala flower do not exist in Tibet. So instead, upala flower grows somewhere near the borderlines of India. So this is what I heard about where upala flower grows. So regarding these upala flowers, is the seed of the upala plant then is very small. However, the tree trunk of the upala is very big, and then it will bear many fruits as well. So similarly, if one has joyous effort, his excellent qualities will flourish like an upala flower. Ngumbo say the blue and not the green. The blue in the green in Agila. Them blue stay you. Yeah. So also I heard about the colors of the upala flower is blue in color, and the petals of the flower is the shape is like salt. The shape is like salt.
That chance is here. Can't you know? Opala, and she will be
JT on the
Dama. This is Dama Kohura. Who money by Dama.
Yeah.
The channel the Hakoni and
yeah, so if you so this is what I heard about the petals of the upala flowers is shaped like a salt. So instead of round like a normal flowers, then it's shaped like a salt. So if any of you know about upala flowers, then you can tell me. You can share with me. Yes.
Oh yes. That was a 20 zombie period to zero. That's into my zombie meter. That's into my zombie meter. That no degeneration in Dollar Masodoa. No degeneration in Dollar. And the Lelo Chilana, the zombie change the Hajar Rimada at the Tokawa should be received. That Milelo Chilla, the zombie change might also now Lega in a bay and we are Galacava, Lelo Chilla. Lelo Chilla and Jimba and the Cherojipa, Kaki of Maris, Lelo Chilla, that Jimba citizens of Pajituki. Lama Loba, the Pajitula love citizen, that Kaki Umaris, Roa. Lelo Chilan, that on the Rangi turn by Hinji turn to a Nova, Rangi turn to a Nova. Take on the 내가 다도 그바 간디나 마 냥찬도 아마다 야 공백 강지 땅도 말이서 다 간다 로제나 로와 오늘 로와 니들
So up to this point, it talks about the benefits of cultivating joyous effort. And then here it starts the faults. Here it starts to talk about the faults of not cultivating or undertaking joyous effort. So in the questions of Sagaramati Sutra says that for the lazy, enlightenment is in all ways very far. So for the lazy one, then it's very difficult to achieve enlightenment. So the enlightenment is very far from oneself. And in the lazy, generosity and so forth up to wisdom do not exist. So it's easy to understand. For the lazy ones, then one will not be able. One is lazy to accomplish the six perfections such as generosity and also wisdom. So, and they will not, because since they are lazy, they are not going to put effort in learning in training on the path. And don't mentions about learning how to train on the path. And similarly, for the lazy, the welfare of others does not exist. So don't mentions about accomplishing the welfare of others. For the lazy, they do not even accomplish their own welfare. So their welfare will diminish, and then similarly, the welfare of others will also diminish. They do not accomplish the welfare of others.
단도 temban에 야로 대화를 선전도데 temban에 야를 베 네무나 지지도 레로이데 칸라스타 레로노 시요 마르스타 네무노와 레로 칸요 바딜라타 간다 델라 추피 다 간다 소소베 녀서 레야가 다 간다 추 지에 메바 차로 그래서 간다 이거 마르시 보러와 다 녀레 베 태상 공서 가리나 다 레로 제라 베 태상 공서 가리 안에 가리나 저건 이거도 해요 보러와 다 디스도와 당와서 추슈부터는 샤나 다가래 다 추슈 많이 봐서서 남을 내가 돌아 샤바이나 다 티슈도 그래 다 창사 티슈를 장자로 레로체나
Yeah, so don't mentions about achieving enlightenment for the lazy one. Even the usual housework is very difficult to accomplish as well for the lazy one. So their temporary and also ultimate purposes will definitely diminish for the lazy one. So the application of mindfulness sutra also says that the one foundations of mental afflictions is laziness, none others. So it says that non-mental afflictions is like laziness. Non other mental afflictions like laziness. For those who has laziness, doesn't have any dharma or qualities at all. So the person will not engage, for the lazy one, will not engage in listening, contemplation, and meditations. So don't mention that they will develop qualities.
당와서 젠디 제지징을 지금 가진라니 다 젠디 제슬랑이 지금 가진 니도와 다들라 리추도 유니스토야 문주바라 다기 텐더도 카라 니나 비쇼바 니 다데니 나노 칸다 가서 젠디 좀 발라마서 레로스도 텐더도 고야 되는 가진 레로스도 디난 빌루그레 나서 시슈치 레로다 샤왕이 히레로 지르비 레로스요와 오디스 레타 간다 디마신다 젤미토와
The Chishu
시교지 레로다 샤왕이 히지 레로다 지르비 레로스와 지르비 레로디스 레타 간다 인셜
And there are two adverse conditions for joyous effort, seeing that one is able to accomplish virtuous dharma or virtuous qualities, but not engaging in it, and the discouragement that thinks, how could I ever accomplish anything like that? So basically, these contains the three types of laziness, which we have taught before. So the three types of laziness are the laziness of procrastination, the laziness of clinging to bad activities, and laziness of low self-esteem.
다 간다 데레 간다 기치 두니스토야 문주바다 데레 다 담보데 니샤레 담보 로와 농여데 시교치 빌려다 팀 샤왕이 발차 니시고도와 다 디노 니데 워 간다 기치 두니스토야 다 문주바데 빌라 가서 시교치 빌려다 샤왕이 실래 차빌려 니데고도와
So regarding the first adverse conditions, adverse conditions, then this has 2 points. One postpones things, thinking there is still time, or L, one is overcome by attachment to bad activities. So as I mentioned just now, this contains the 3 types of laziness, right? So the first adverse conditions covers 2 types of laziness, the laziness of procrastination and also a laziness of clinging to bad activities.
但是学习的老师话的把可都是学习呢，但对忙不进我当我说了，我说长忙了里面是吧？但我是长忙呗，我说我是这个小娃子把了呗，他可能呢，加上公司的农用企业的看的人呢，他上你这个那你这个你们呢警察节了，警察节的大瓦节嘛，大瓦节嘛老节嘛，那老节嘛呢，得老节了。 他被说被某本来被修不了，你看当个两个的把长下，两个的接长下差不多呢，这个给我读一些话，那弟弟给我读呀，就是国家他们那关系是吧？我在这学习了是在等你蛮多样的，这里是谈不的，谈不学习了，对嘛？你这些对帮我呀了，我的领不到，领不到，我当那我领不到。
And so regarding the first types of laziness of procrastinations, so basically all of us, all of us has this laziness of procrastination. So whenever we want to do something virtue of 3 doors, like for example listening to Dharma, contemplation, or do meditations, or study Dharma, or practice Dharma. So then we always have this. We always postpone it. We always delay it, thinking that tomorrow I'm going to do that. I'm going to study that tomorrow. Practice that tomorrow. Then tomorrow, then you say next week. Then next week you say next month. Then next month you say next year. Then you even say that once I retired or once I finish the project, then I will start to study or practice Dharma. So you can say that. By postponing the Dharma practices, but whether you have the opportunity to practice it or to study Dharma when you retire or not, then that is uncertain.
他共产党没去中间，他这样子忙不过来，他继续忙给我就是吧？对，他这个年末的搞的上当过，是那这点多。 다 년보다 간다 시켜지려도 바꿔야 겠다 리토바다 배소서 우리 아버지 처리 되면 우리도 땡고 그요 말은 얘도 인지도 것도 소소 취 맞지 봐이나 다 우리도 더와이나 얘도 우리도 배 하장 배 인지 나와 쉬고지라 가서 좋아보다 보고 가서 요야 돼 얘도 인지 와서 지제마 선제 용화 취제의 뭐 선제의 용화 쓰고로 어떤 용화이디 답에 가서 얘도 인지하게 된 인지라고 是我的现在呢年多了，对吧？当我是去给嘛，对吧？那年多了，当然加差的话，我这里生活干，那来边说个电商方面那几个，好像突然的隔来靠不来，啥的的，就是说上要不就当白呢，这学起来了都忙着，平时也是我，对吧？学起来了我都忙着啊，那这就是给节目，但哪里能什么年不的了嘛，卡对家当的，就是上当的，但这个嘛，第一个上当的，第二个是的话。
And regarding the laziness of procrastinations, then there is a famous quotation from Gongtang Rinpoche. So I believe that many of you have heard it already. So the meaning are as mentioned in the verse composed by Gongtang Rinpoche. So the antidotes to the first adverse conditions, which is the laziness of procrastination, is to meditate on these 3 thoughts. This body that you have obtained will quickly disintegrate. So we have learned about death and impermanence, in which we learn about there are many conditions for our death, and there are many very little or few conditions for our life. So this precious human body that is so difficult to obtain, yet it can disintegrate easily or very quickly. So. So by thinking, and after that, then you will fall into the lower rebirths. So it's easy to understand, right? If we always postpone the Dharma practices or doing virtuous activities, then and at the end, if we do not accomplish anything, then after that, one will fall into the lower rebirths. and it will be difficult to find such a good life once again. So similarly, want to fall into lower births and difficult to find a good life.
다 님바디 가서 잡이 님보도 마시면 다 샤워 님발에 신비래로래. 다 demang은 오도 말로 쉬고. 다 원래 님보도 가도 쉬고다 오도 쉬고다. 다 샤워 니실의 차비 레로서 다 데데레 가서 나지페나 제세는 가서 제세야 다 대면 바라베 미망보는 야마 다 지도서야 너무 말해 이제 뭔다 됩니다 계자시야 간다 최다 만데바베 계자 망보 신의 뒤세처럼 제장자 제네 뒤세 무세조로 다 소소 무세데 간다 다 랑게 나게 되나 두마두바 제모다 진다 계자 밤에 계자 다 하다진의 든디 장자 이바 기저신의 뜻 무세조로 요로 오다 든디 제정이나 다 간다 랑게 되 두투야마 대신지 되 가두두 도와 이 간다 랑게 나무게 된다도 마두마두바 마냥도하다 다 신지 된다다 가두두와 오다 뜻을 삼아데 간다 샤와니 힐라 차벨 레로시다 뜻을 지금 무엇이 부르다 마서 무엇이 부르듯 든디 무엇이 바이나 세수수가 하고 무엇이 바이나 다 들라 마주에 비우러와 들라 마주에 비우러와 오다 뜻을 개 전부 나오다 진데 제모지야다 뜻을다 진그리지야다 다 개차 야마 된다 처음 면조들이 랑지 정말 미 군조라야 기자들이 시는 마고 시리나 그래서 샤와기 잡이려 잡는 거 들어와 랑지를 핀바지 시는 디고로와 미 랑지 정말 야 군조라야 진로다 든지 지세 장장장으로 지도 샤와기 시는 잡이려서 그래서 들이기도 든지 잡고 들어와 돈버디
And then the second one is the laziness of clinging to bad activities. So this is also something that we all know about. So bad activities such as the worst bad activities is like for example gambling or engaging in those negative activities or bad activities, gambling or playing games or etc. And on top and besides that, then verbally we also sometimes engage in lots of verbal negative activities as well. And don't mention about having a Dharma talk or Dharma conversations with others. So we always are busybody with other businesses. So that is not beneficial at all. So we always say not a meaningless chatter la or non-conscientious conversations and those conversations doesn't benefit oneself and others. So and sometimes we might even say something that makes others angry and etc. So those are, and we spend most of our times in engaging in those negative activities verbally and physically as well. So also by knowing about these negativities, then we stop attachment to those negative activities. So by then recognize the faults itself is very beneficial.
O direda shawa ngihila chabeli lo swade ta nganzo namina madeba tuba shwe ki zawaji chabeli ta zasan ina tuba shwe ki zawaji chabeli o dindi shawa ngihi chabeli lo tepe tuja ya shwa ta de nganzo chida kamalashi jesa la wina dindi shida lewu jima to ta pe jinse la so ba dindi da mala mila chito sa da mala dindi rushi ni shidan zo ya maro ta nganzo pe la wina 다 gengots 다 가시 거라 gen도다 처리다 보면 거라 gen도가 되나 거라 지리 다 지도 장자 손실에 리지어 다 간다 다 지기야 제마서 마제마서 장자에 거라도 최제 거라 gen도가 노여리 다 그래서 다 소소 세 담번이는 거라 지야지 표현이 된대 오라 근데야 디 지도 장자 손도니 이지나야 피해래 내가 치야사기 내가 여러와 디소네 다 간다 다 디소 원도 만도와
Yeah, so this is kind of like the root cause for the disharmony in the family and between couples as well. and cause lots of suffering in the family because of this laziness of clinging to bad activities. So, however, I think Malaysia, especially those, I mean, we all lived in the city, so might have lesser clinging to attachment to bad activities, such as always gossip about others or always busybody with others' businesses. Because in Tibet, especially those senior people, they always gather. They say they want to go to circumambulate stupa or monastery. Then most of the time, then they group together and always talk about gossip about others. So this is don't mentions about gaining benefits. So the negativities one will get is even more.
That the nimbo the mashi, the nimbo the makadu, so the Hudwa, the Washan, each of the look nimbo. That Tambichu in the Kanda, Arwa. That's what we should do at the picture that the Zachimbo, that's in somebody, Tambichu, let's in somebody Hajan, the Zachimbo Shivis, Rwa saying that Shimanika. Teaching you at Gawachi Tayaba, and you introduce his Gurwa, send the Shinigaki, send the Shinigakala, the one you at the Gawachiwa, the Ninju Tayaba, the Sanji Majaba, the Nigeris. That time it be Judge Mawata, that girl was the 9, then the tension when Yamashaba Tisu that did you song, oh, it's that your mother, that hungry Yamashaba, Hinji, you are a Yamaship, that hungry nigger, you turn Yamaship. Tatu began to buy membership. That's a shimmer, the one which you would read you so that they won't be as well. In the I didn't need us to go.
So the antidotes to attachment to bad activities are that you stop them by seeing the holy dharma is the cause for the arising of boundless joy in these and future lives. So by studying and practicing holy dharma, then those are this is the cause for the arising of limitless happiness in these and also future lives. So by seeing that meaningless idle chatter and the distractions of excitement and so forth degenerate the great aim in these lives. So seeing that those meaningless conversations and distractive excitement, how it degenerates the purpose in this life and future lives. And by seeing that it is the source that generates manifold suffering in future lives.
That's somebody that anybody has there so little somebody happened that little somebody can that dilemma non-system she would do. Non-system she would do. And I Jilu Billy study. And that's in a Jilu Billy letter. Shumba said Jilu was the number Jibanibur. And the Jiba, Shumba said that say Shumba 2 minutes on dinner. That Jilu Billy, in the Mumakashi should say Jilu Billy study. She tell us now, got me catch it was. So much doesn't you got to listen. Go and just now, you got to listen. That didn't got to listen. You did that on the children, the Shumba did that. That tells us what the candy chasing now. Got to listen, and you got to listen.
So then the third type of laziness is the discouragement that thinks, how could I ever accomplish anything like that? So this discouragement is also of 3 types. So basically, when we talk about the laziness of low self-esteem, so low self-esteem basically relates to discouragement. So thinking that you do not have thinking that you do not have the ability to do so. So basically, when we say this laziness of low self-esteem or discouragement, basically it relates to things like when someone asks you to listen to Dharma, then the immediate thought is, how could I do that? Then when someone asks you to think about Dharma, contemplate on Dharma, then the immediate thought is, how could I do that? Similarly, when ask you to meditate on Dharma, then the immediate thought is, how could I do that? So basically, someone asks you to listen to Dharma, contemplate and meditate on Dharma, then the first thing that comes to your mind is, how could I do that?
That digging Nimbo Yashin would over the day, again, Golma Mige, Pashin Dibal Majasuya Loa. He owns the Jomet Sandwich in a Motomu number Kayan, Motomu number Kayan, that the Sheikh Marcos Sandri Abush Tombana, 마토바다 마두바다 가야 요 말에서 예 나서 누마디 니지 세모스니 휴인바 다 차랑서 노조 야부 제거다 선이 진짜 쇼다 선이 초쇼다 나 가요 투르스 들이 나주티니 가세가 들이 세모스는 나서 너지 차랑이 양은 충로고 매다서 최는 충로고 매다 최는 충나 니 가충도 양은 충는 니 가충도 그러세 너무네로 와 선이 진짜 쇼다 선이 초라 쇼다스나 들치나 되게 경험하도 세모스는 나는 주로를 줄 때 리파트 나르지나 야본도 뭐네 저도 신앙 제거야 말했어 무슨 제에서 주도는 신앙 제거 말했어 가 제거 말했어 그 주도 지지를 벤츠베 랑 상보라 쇼스고로
So basically, the best antidote to this laziness of low self-esteem is, as mentioned in the compendium of the perfections. There is nothing that cannot be attained, that cannot be accomplished for those who have great joyous effort and do not discourage. So dismay or discourage. So basically, this is the best antidote to counteract the laziness of low self-esteem. So this I also mentioned before. So if I say if I ask you, sometimes I say in a joking way, but I say it does mean something. It does mean that way also. So, like for example, I ask you to come to class tomorrow, go learn something or read something or practice something, do something. Then our immediate reactions is like, how can I do that? It's very difficult, and etc. Then the immediate reactions usually was like that. Then I'm telling you to do something good, right? I'm not asking you to do something bad. What I'm telling you is to read book, to study Dharma, to do something good, to do Dharma practices. I'm not asking you to jump off the cliff. I'm not asking you to jump into the oceans. So what I'm telling you is to do something good by to do something positive and virtuous. So why such reactions? So it's something for us to think about, and it's also good to to talk about this between Dharma brothers and sisters or Dharma friends as well. So to encourage each other instead of discourage.
That's not the 주도로서 지질래리 저한테 너전 안에 대두스나 니 가투스나 나들 가투들 렌자고다 정시 니 저 저모터는 양은 줄 로고 메다스 추는 줄 로고 메다스
Yeah, so if I say between Dharma friends or Dharma brothers and sisters, say if someone, as I say, or to do a Dharma practice, for example, or to attend puja, for example, then if the other person immediate reaction is how can I come, or how can I do that, and etc. Then you can you can kind of joke with the person saying that I'm not asking you to jump off the cliff. I'm just simply asking you to do something good, like by reading Dharma books, for example.
나도 신앙제고 말해서 나도 신앙제마가 처음 시대 선도를 발신 기반 진도와 모토문도 가야 메세 선도만 모토문도 가야 메세 선도와 어디데 가트그에서 시대 파다는 리그고 모토문도 가야 메세 다들 가서 진주로지 요래 그녀는 제바이나 문도 가야 요마서 진주나 뭐지 요래
Yeah, so there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear of, and there's nothing to be discouraged about. So basically, if you feel that you have this low self-esteem or low confidence, or thinking that you have no ability to do something, then recall this line. Recall this line. There is nothing that cannot be attained, that cannot be accomplished in the compendium of the perfections, and also that there is a similar wordings in the Bodhisattva as well, that there is nothing that cannot be attained if you have joyous effort.
다들만熊받을 송여로 와다가서 마셔야다. 담보데 토자 상지 유인데 타에 버대다 다그 토버 뭐니 냐바다데熊받하래도 지를 받해도. 네. 토자 상지지 공파다 지를 정도고 전도 있다 문제 쇼다데 소야데 간자다 전도 문제 쇼와. 토자 상지 유인데 데 자청보 쇼버데 니 가봐 토토레스냐 세熊받지 지주를 소야. 어디 담보에 되다.
So then there is a discouragement that things. So this discouragement has three types, right? So these three types are the class that is discordant with the choice effort. So there is the unconducive conditions, or the opposite of choice effort. So there is the discouragement that things, since the object to be attained. So the first thing it talks about is the object of attainment. So the excellent qualities of a Buddha are limitless. So I cannot attain them. So this is very true, right? So sometimes when we think about this, then the immediate thought is, how can I achieve enlightenment?
Sanji Kumbatuala. The Sanji Kumbatuala, Depe Hajange, Gamba Labatan, Hachakale Kabore, the Danga Kawadu, Singakaba Kawatu to Tantu Saka, that did what this new Marisi, that is lower, that did not Ninsi Malina when it's a wa. It should do a bit. Ninsi la Mali, but when it's not your wa. When it's a wa. God news that Shumba Janja that it.
So then the second type of discouragement is that is since the method. So then the second one talks about the method. So since the method, giving away my arms, legs, and the like is immensely difficult, I cannot accomplish it. So similarly, when you talk about achieving the state of enlightenment, then the method to achieve the enlightenment is, for example, giving away my arms and legs. Then how could I do that? It's so difficult for me to cut my hands, and then to don't mention to give it away. So it is true that it is difficult, as it's scary for those who haven't reached that level or reached that state. Then it is scary. It is difficult. So, however, for those who has reached that level, or that level of standard, then it is not difficult. So the second one talks about the method. Think that is very difficult. I cannot do that.
That's somebody can do that. Yabe Chedula, Zinji Katsan Ture, stuck on that Ninkoa Jeba Koal Yanya, the Pijuan Pape, Taiba Jordan Jilin with Koala G, Tsai Jingela, that Donga Jepe, Manu Chudua, Kava do to Gure, Kava, Chetu is in a station body Chiudoya. What that? I'm also quality doing English, doing young people choose the Kinchi Wa. That delivery. The station by GG.
And the third one is there is the discouragement that things, since it's necessary to return to this place. So the third one is related to place. So since it's necessary to return to cyclic existence and take infinite rebirths in samsara. So during that time, I will be harmed by the sufferings of cyclic existence. So by thinking about this, then one feels discouraged. So it is true also, right? So thinking that, if I take rebirths in samsara, then I will have to suffer a lot and greatly, and etc. So, however, if we think further, one will only start to think about Dharma or practice Dharma only when one suffer and only when one experience suffering. So this is also a thing that you can think about.
Sumbashi, that was a name of the machine. That Tambo, the Toja Sanji, and the Taya, but the dog got that digging name of Shiva. That digging name of Casna, Sanji, but not a Tambo, Nipe, long temple tossing about Thorny Maria to some time. Not Sanji, Mambuji children, Tambo Nipe, Kale Majeba, Kandalan temple tossing, but Liji Maria, Dandawa, Roa, G. Kona Lanchi, and to hit the Sanjiba. Randa, so enough the Kale per lojo, Genesis and San General Giremato, the Tamboni Topa Chini, Tindiki or Maris, this Sanji Dalichin, Sanji to Sunday, Ranile Hana, but Meba. The Tamazo, Sanji on the book, Joaline, Zukangat Tape, Sanji to Banduris, was a Sanji on Bura, or Sanji on a good Zotope, Tasanji to Compatoris. Oh, Sanji on Bura, that's over with Sanity Zero. That was a mission which is two hours. The Zoino Sanji to combat to Aris go. Tala Sanji to combat to Aris. Got him back the Achiwa, 무기 지와를 상주는 무기 지와를 디바다 파타리 양자고 지와 진행우리 이 양자 문제는 고가 수수그 바샤지 야 취지에 고가 이라고 와. 그 고가라는 양자 문제는 고가 제우디 취지에 그 상주지 고가 토로 그래서 가사지라. 뭐 든디지나 토로야. 든디 토로야서 다그 배전주도 마땅 바이나 내가 상주지 고마부터 나 단다 배지와 물리 상부야고 지와 진행되래. 나페 배전지나 토다 토 상주지 고마부터 타페 상주는 부두서이나페 다들 상지지 고바트가 뭐 예레스 랑은 내가 건가를 배 상지지 고바트가 예레스 상지게 송 예레스와 어디 수수pen 배제 마다나 토다 토 상들이 아니 모두라 상당 그래서와 뭐 진짜 상당 다 소소로 멤버들과 상당 뭔가 개치긴다고 생각 봐야 돼. 와
So there are also three antidotes. So to each discouragement. So the antidote to the first discouragement is the thought, even the Buddhas did not already attain high paths right from the start. Rather, they were like me and became Buddha by going on to increasingly higher paths. Since the Blessed One also say that even those who are greatly inferior to me will attain Buddhahood, why should I not attain it if I put in effort? So to counteract, so the antidote to counteract the first discouragement is to encourage yourself by thinking about others who are inferior to me. So like Buddhas, to think about Buddhas. So when we say Buddha, or they already become a Buddha. So but they were not Buddha right from the start. They also slowly progress on the path, and then and improve. Then they eventually become Buddha. So and even Buddha himself said, even Buddhas say that those who are greatly inferior to me will attain Buddhahood. So, like for example, you can think about insects or life form in a toilet, for example, in a dirty toilet, then there are many life forms, right? Bugs, insects, and etc., worms, and etc., and they are life forms that feed on the excrements of other sentient beings. So they are considered a lower life form, right, or inferior form to a human being. So even those inferior beings, they will attain enlightenment as well. They will sooner or later attain enlightenment by eliminating the negativities they have previously accumulated. And later, when their positive karma ripen, then then they practice Dharma, they study and practice Dharma, and eventually they will attain enlightenment as well. So now I am a human being. So I'm a human being, a higher state, higher realms than those worms, for example. So if I put in effort practicing Dharma, studying Dharma, why wouldn't I achieve enlightenment too? So by encouraging yourself, then you eliminate such a discouragement.
chanju기 생 된디기 또 토랭아서 동반이 돼. 그래서 사마라베 수수 또 디즈 마치바 땅 두고 말아. 땅 두고 말해. 이 닌제 메나 닌제 요도제 땅 가시는 양으로 와디. 전지세 메나 땅 가시는 요. 이 깔리 용으로 와. 뭐다 디페 수수라베 우리 땅에 니체 말레 받아 땅아 요 말해서 이땅 이땅 말해서 다시 땅 무스. 다 수수 땅이베 우메네 단에게 chanju기 세다 동반이 돼. 그래서지 상호 딜레 어디 데리 동안라 소소 체마대와나시 네 주노라서바 드소바테와나시 소소 백강에메 근데 조이 내가 따따는 지금 누사 다든 네뭐 상호디 땅고 해서 그러와 소소라 땅 마트니까라 제 땅스네 다데 유야 코리아마 미신다게 우즈제나 소소 유야 마라 소소게 땅 바이나 예 등에 냐르와 땅 보시나 세두고 말와 세 마트바지 땅 두고 말와
And the antidote to the second discouragement is to think, as long as the perception arises that it is difficult to give away my body and so forth, I will not give it away. However, when the time to give it away arrives, it will not be difficult, but will be like giving away vegetables. So the second discouragement is also thinking that giving away my body, my hands, arms, legs, and etc. to others is difficult. So it is true that if one doesn't cultivate any loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, or the certain realizations of emptiness, then giving away my arms and my body to others is difficult. One will, experience great suffering by doing so. So it means that when one is not ready to do so, not ready means that one hasn't developed such level of realization. One is not there yet. Then when you are not there yet, then do not give it away. So do not give it away. So however, when I develop such realizations, or when I'm ready to give it away, then it will not be difficult. It will be just like giving money to others, or it will be just like giving away vegetables to others. So nowadays, there are many blood donors, right? So most of them will be motivated by a mind of giving. Also, on top of that, then can be motivated by compassion as well. So then by donating blood to others. So when the needle pierces into their body, then they, because of this compassion and also the minds of giving they generated, they can bear with such they can bear with that small pain. So if one doesn't have any minds of giving, or if one doesn't have any compassionate thoughts at all, so if one were to pierce the needle to a body and ask for blood, then the person would be will be run away out of fear and not able to give or donate blood to others, right?
코알라 대와이나 타파토라 점박이 니반도 한지점부터 토라 점박이 니반도 니바 창나다 코알라 내대는 누아 뭐 딘디 상황하니 이 가다 전지 좀바이나 뜻이 슈바 리그 마리스 와 네 뜻다다 세션 벌리야된 코알라 ben니 니사리 땅 코알라 두이 마니네 땅아라 취취하게 니바 전지 좀 두고 뭐 누상리 세션 바딜레고로 다 슈바디 바도야 되리와.
So the third discouragement is, I say, one has to take infinite rebirths in cyclic existence and suffer in cyclic existence. So to counteract such discouragement, the antidote is thinking, is to stop the discouragement by thinking. Because the Bodhisattva abandons bad actions, their effects, suffering feelings do not arise. And owing to his stable realizations that cyclic existence lacks inherent existence, like an illusion, there is no suffering in his mind. And if he thrives with physical and mental bliss, even while remaining in cyclic existence, there's no need to feel discouraged. Despair is pointless. So one feel discouraged because one has to take infinite rebirths in cyclic existence and suffer, right? So you then to counteract such discouragement, then to encourage yourself that by thinking that there are opportunity to achieve or develop realization in cyclic existence. So even though I take a samsaric rebirth, but in samsara I have the opportunity to develop realization. For example, develop the direct realizations of emptiness. I can also develop loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta in samsara if I put on effort. So if I put on effort, all these can be achieved. So I can achieve liberation. I can achieve the state of enlightenment as well. So by thinking about that, you have the chances to achieve all these realizations. So, and by developing such realizations, even though one has taken a samsaric rebirth, but one will not be harmed by the samsaric sufferings. So there is nothing to feel discouraged about.
That's in the Tinji Temple, Tinji Shidi Machigua, Tinji Shidi Kanda, maybe those water, that legend to go the relationship of the Bachiba. That maybe those on the matter, that Jakiwa Sambale, Jebedewa, and Juan, Jachajaris. Jim McGillis and Jib doing Juan, Jakiwa Sabal, Jebedewa, Juan, did Jachajari in the Rosa, that the Digiton is some of the Tids into some Baina, that Dunga, Jebedunga and Lole. That other chitwa, what the legal lended to the guns so about so lended guns what lended guns what and that one I did that. Now you also lended guns lended guns or that lended guns also Jugiwaji Sana Jibdunga Manjua Jachaja Jugiwaji Sapa and Jib Dewan you want to think Kisha so this one touch about that Jumagi Listabana Jib Dewan you Manjua touch it. And Jib Dumage ending to Usa, that the Digi Lendic Najade, Yabu Sena, San Tambaina, then also Gaichula, Zunitrabi, they also the Toata, at the Suniba legal
So relying on favorable conditions for joyous effort, that has 4 types. So the power of aspiration is to meditate on cause and effects, so as to generate the aspiration to discard and adopt. So we always talk about meditate on karma, meditate on karmic cause and effect. So basically, it means that we have to think about the certainty of karma. So if you accumulate a virtuous cause, then its result will be is definitely be a pleasant one. Then if you accumulate a non-virtuous cause, definitely its result will be unpleasant. So another way of saying this is if one accumulate a negative karma, so its result is definitely will not be a happy one, will not be a pleasant one. So because the suffering is will be definite, one will experience a suffering result. It's 100% in this way. So by meditating on karmic cause and effect, then one will take delight in putting effort in accomplishing Dharma practice, and also to put effort in abandoning the object of abandonment, and also to practice the objects of adoption.
that Timbi to the Renua, that Ocean Timbi to the Tinji Deredua, that Mataba Chiru, when you stand, she got in touch. That the Taran minute on it, Mansope, Susuke, Zundi Suna, the Yanni Chebala, Tombo de Shimua, then that Yanni Kandi Cheb will do. Yanni Chia de la Cosu, that's into Swan, Bezin Chevali, Shimbiton, and Bezin Chevaina, the Kalikati Jevaina, Cocheva, Cocheva. That Lando we need the Mashiva along the Loba Chilape, Sosu Pe, Show, Church, Liukuni, Bezin Chevaina, that and that Duaki Omar, Dutiaki Omar, Kali Jevada, Churva, Kali Jeva Churva. Oh, that Kali Kandi Jevaina, so Kandi Jevaina, take Tanda the Shimbetone, that Kali Jevanes, or the number of Katu Shiva, Tanda the Shimbetone, Kali Jevanes. That Tanda the Mashiva, the Kali Jevana Kali, Jevana, Kali Jala, Jebo, Yavachimeva, the Lisha, and Yanga Yorese, that is in the dish of the door. Mataba Jesu, and Marese.
So the second power is the power of fortitude, is to not pursue anything impulsively without first investigating it. So do not simply engage in anything without first investigating it. So if you want to put effort, so first you have to know about the Dharma practice, you have to learn about the Dharma practice, how to the proper way to do the Dharma practice, and etc. Right? Only then you put in effort, then your effort is put to good use. So only then your joyous effort will bring you the results that you desire. So if you do not first investigate it, or learn about it, or study the proper way to achieve the desired goal, then if you simply engage in putting effort in engaging in the wrong Dharma practice, practices, it will not bring any fruit. It will not brings you the desire. It will not bring you the desired goal that you desire. So because the method is already wrong, then how could you achieve the result that you desire? So then if you put in effort without first investigating, and by not knowing the proper way to achieve the practices, then your effort will be wasted.
Then somebody guy was telling you that she put similar to what from a children, one of the that don't wear any silver. I was a pushing the much that Pama's came out of one, Boro Machivachi, the Chibudua, that dinner she loved, that did a patient she would do. That's also been Yanichi at Tessan goes in Yani Tessan goes to Yamadawa. That's also been Yanichi and the Abu, the Shimmy Tony. The Yanichi, the that Sanjaro, which is a land, Dama and Zinda Trilogy, that Gomji and Sanjaro celebrate. That Kashi Chen Gomji and Sanjaro much delicious.
Yeah. So the power of joy, the third one is that the power of joy. So makes your undertaking of joyous effort uninterrupted and insatiable, like a child engaged in the game. So as it then is true, right? So many as a child usually since they like playing games so much, so their parents cannot stop them from doing so. So similarly, if you have the power of joy that makes you like to put effort, that makes you delightfully putting effort in the Dharma, in the practices, that even others trying to stop you, you are unstoppable because you are insatiable with the practices. So because you like to do certain practices so much that even though others trying to stop you, but you are unstoppable because you know why you are doing it, and then you do that, you think about it, and then you do that. So you are unstoppable.
Oh, the song that the year the year was a Gumbana Serena winner to the year. That gained to song get to catch it, that Gunda Chupol, Hassan Chupol Dennis in the song. The pitch of joy and Zinto Peso to the chair, but Hajan Chisneva somebody the Jody, and now they start with Sanshas in the Kamuchi Maboyer. They get to Maboyer. That's the Lama today, Lord of the Egypt.
Yeah, so there are those who really have a joyous effort, like for example in Sarah, then some students, some monks, they have this strong joyous effort, so they will study till late night, reciting text or memorizing text and etc. to till 2 or 3 a.m. Then others ask him to rest and stop, don't study till that late. Then otherwise then you might fall sick and etc. Then but since they have this joyous effort, they can memorize text till that day.
다 시바 도일 도서 드려와 다 도와드 드려 간다 다 자기 때 답변 미니션 답변 때 그신 지구도 답변 다 시사로 해 배로와 답변 전주 총체단에 배다 간다 세배 하자 통치나 이 뭐지 집으로 와서 내가 와서 가라지 답벌이 사잖아 내 시골 산에 마디가 차도와 마디가 차도와 다 칼라 신보드나 산산지샤나 제리 앉아 산에 들어간도와 다 신보드세 시부사자시나 시골 칼라데 신보는 신산에 마디가 차도다 이 나시 다 저기 좀 어디 배 깔레 탕체스나 디즈반 상자는 가서 제니 가서 제야디 앉아 문티네 진도 멤버가 체도真的需钱不因为一切的人嘛都别是上下生的地马里去过了他真的多是吧要第二步多我第一些吧真的了
And the last one is the power of suspension. That is to rest when your body and your mind are worn out, owing to your joyous effort. And as soon as you have recovered, then you start again. So this is also can relate to to jala, the idea jala. When we eat food also. So if the food is very delicious and if you keep eating it, then to one point then you will feel jala already. You don't feel like eating it anymore, right? So something similar to this. So when you put in effort and then to the extent that you feel physically and mentally are tired already, then you should pause and then rest, and then once you recover, then you start again. So the power of suspension is not ask you to stop completely. So instead, it means that it asks you to pause, to rest for a while, so that you can, engage in the practice again.
Oh, that is a guy jingo, but I'm thinking about it. That leader said, "Don't Simba Jindama, Lungujanasi, Roa, Simba and Dama, Lungujanasi, so to the part of the Tsongkhapa, that's in the that this should be general. Him and Dama the Lungu pay, should be general, where she did not see, send it somewhere. That's in the love said that which is Jim.
The Xinjiang line up. Xinjiang ye on Java,
Simba Jindama, Him Dama, or the Dama Lungu. The country pay Lungu, and I'm going to call in a Kudu. We did not see our pair. We say that there's a change some Balape, Yambota, Niba, but the Gawa.
So in this way, in reliance upon stopping adverse conditions and relying on favorable conditions, then undertake joyous effort until your body and your mind become light like a piece of cotton carried by the wind. So it means that put in joyous effort. So it's like when you like to do something, then you do not feel physically also not feeling tired or heavy, and mentally also not feeling tired or heavy to do so, right? So this is what it means by undertake joyous effort until your body and your mind become light like a piece of cotton carried by the wind. It means that you like to do that.
That's a little bit of pleasure to do the show and around the Dimbashi taking. The Dimbashi taking the Lanka, but that's the Jewish. That is the show. That's a command the shadows, the jail must under the commanderies. That's what in a Kashi on this.
So when you train in joyous effort, then do so in such a way that possesses the 6 perfections. So these I will cover in coming class, and together with meditative stabilization. So I will stop here, and if you have any questions, then you can ask now.
Geshe-la, in the last teaching, Geshe-la talked about when one purified before opponent power, the root of virtues actually, the root of this negative karma is still there, but when condition arises, it will not ripen. So, and then until one have direct realization, and then this root of negative action will will be eliminated completely. So you won't experience the negative result. So for the virtuous, subsequently, it explained that when there's anger, it won't destroy the root of virtue that has been created. But when condition arises, it also won't ripen a positive result. So my question is, when will this root of virtue that has been destroyed by anger but is still there, we will experience the result? Just like the negative thing before opponent power, it will be eliminated at the end when one realizes emptiness directly. How about root of virtues which has been kind of not destroyed, kind of affected by anger?
You're asking the roots of virtue destroyed by the anger, then
not destroyed, because Geshe-la said it won't be. Lama Tsongkhapa, many scholars have different view, but Lama Tsongkhapa said this root of virtue that has been kind of disturbed by anger is still there. It won't be destroyed completely, but when condition arise, it also won't ripen a positive result. Am I correct in the last teaching? So I was wondering, this root of virtue which has been disturbed by anger, when will it ripen? Because
ripen as in giving rise to the result?
Correct, because Geshe-la said even condition there, it won't ripen. Because you have this root of virtue was destroyed.
The condition is there, then it won't ripen. Then now you're asking when
the root is still there.
Okay.
Yeah, but Geshe-la said the root is still somewhere in the consciousness, maybe inside.
Okay.
So just like the negative virtue will be completely eliminated, it will be taken out from your consciousness when you realize emptiness directly. I'm just wondering, this somewhere in your mind stream, maybe in the consciousness, there's this root of virtue that has been disturbed by anger, but it's still there. It won't be complete. According to Lama Tsongkhapa, it won't be completely destroyed by anger, right?
Yeah.
Think that in the mind stream, when will it ripen?
That's all. Yeah. Kaya ini jinjang ngama ina ngacu di nyembo topsi kola ini di bataya di roa. Di bataya di kola ini di nyembo topsi di nyembo topsi di nyembo tenwa ina ini di bataya roa. Ini yang di lama Tsongkhapa ki tutsula yang ngacu ki nyembo topsi di tene di bataya ini di bagi cawa di tandu di roa. Di bagi cawa di tandu di resa. Ini di tunggen kaza di tunggen de tuwaina ini kaza jebu de gigi maris di lama Tsongkhapa ki tutsu resa yang anjo nyembo topsi de tene di de tageroa di de tagire de ini di bagi cawa de tandu resa yore de tunggen dang tuwaina di jebu de gigi maris ini 제랑 아주 그래서 동반이 된 것도 또 와이나 아니 디바기 자와데 양데 베데 타게로 아니 디 타가 나신게 나쪽이 계좌라 와이나 나쪽이 계좌 아니 데 컴퓨터기 양디 종기로 이니 디 종기요네래 이니 디 그래서 계좌 개화기 자와데 단두데 디기로 중긴 당투 와이나 이니 안데 데부데 계기 말와 데부데 계기 말와 이니 di ngansu ini yang kaza di tipa ngonsun tongi ngonsun di to waina ini di tipa ki cawa di beti thagre ini gewa ki kolaina gewa ki cawa de kontro ki jombe giwe cawa de ini katumingi resa
ting이 게다 동방의 같이 쉬는 봐 세바 체인지 초선을 배 양자 문티니 양자 미야게 요 말해서 종사디 타 제일 땅에서 뒤도 지금 말해서 같이 쉬는 봐 맞아 게자 종 세와데 천분 중제의 중무체 봐라 유진분 주 중무체 봐 데레마도 가서 게자 종세데 단다 내가 지를 파 종의 양자 제일 중요한 거 디게자 시고 말해서 네 말해서 와 네 말해서 게자 종 세와데 nembu kanda diles seba chindi chosa kazi shuyba seba chindi chosa yu rinbunji chungwe cheba chenbunji chungwe cheba stop check. We delay stand that is get the Jones.
Mm.
Then on get the John and as a Sena the G so me as a Sena so the is at the rest. This shall go or did is. That and that nimbo toshi to the data. Nimbo toshi to the other.
他講嘢呢啲其實空錯嘅裝備幾位走下啲，佢對面嘅嘢就面嘅嘛話，
你也要嘛話，你個嘛話，全部接咗啦。那剛才全部嘅這個這不全部人中啊的，通過這裡對人家全部中啊嘅要嘛話。
其實呢空嘅心水，到底空嘅心水啦，我做啲其實啲全部都是裝備。啲被走下啲，那種東北英文上都多比較啦，因為啲走下啲，啲被走下啲，被啲打土嘅。
東北英文上多把它買的。這個是全部被年不多許多呢，是屬於第八的人，這不門中啊，打把接頭個人，這不的牛麼個打把接頭個人，打把接頭個人的第三邊的，打把下是第下點看的。這沒把手頭嘛，把下的這沒把這崩完了，上面把下的這把崩完了，那崩你都必須得了點點崩過來是不？得了點點麼把，得了點點呢崩過來，你剛才崩要麼的人呢，門的呢上面得了人家，進車把人呢，俺說人家中間這不的，你就會是你用嘛的是不？你用嘛的是，這上面沒有吃吧那些，上面沒有吃吧了，進去的趕緊做飯呢，這不接着嘛，這那些吃啥的是不？
點呢？那啲空氣裝備幾位走下啲樣，女把啲有嘛的話，
好多也在裝備，就人不用就有了啊。這通過接觸的，通過接種的，這人家接了就人不用啊，這不給要嘛的，永遠要嘛的。這種是吧？對了啊。全部給咱這不全部進去了，全部說啥了啊？全部說啥的，我們呢，給咱這兩家這不全部接給要嘛的。
其實呢啲空氣裝備幾位走下啲。人家這部的機嘛咯，
這話的是中大的線路啊，
中大
的全部牛的全部接觸了啊，全部牛的全部接觸的，這接了人家全部牛啊給要嘛的，你這的人這不的人家全部牛啊給嘛中啥？
因為空頭那啲幾位走啊，啲別啲中呀啲呢樣啊，別啲中呀成日啲樣其實沒稍微啲沒吃吧能行，因為啲啲中途樣啊，人那啲樣全部
你沒把說要買的是來吧？沒把說要買的是。這不前提充實的也是，你不說呀嘛的。
全部充說呀，
有人可以吧？也在中这个，有人不充结巴的，全部充结巴。也突破的嘛，咋说呀？中说天大地的嘛，早你没把说呀嘛的，给这的中这的工作，给这做的，给这早你没把强的，这个嘛的。
中间的长途啊呢，中间长途呢，你接不接的？
这可能你不你自己接过来嘛？都，当不给这嘛中的接的接都要嘛的。全部是这样有了哇，你这样给要嘛的，早你没把说呀，是不给讲嘛的？
早你没把说的嘛了，
嘛的，这个是谁把钱的就是假如是开始忙不行用吧，给在中大的这里也是，谁把钱的确实多的嘛说，有人不就通过结吧，全部就通过结吧，
突破呢
三把结吧，突破呢三把结吧，中大都是的嘛的。给空中是接把的，就是给这个道理没把说呀，你马的，你中马的，你没把说马的。
So when we talk about anger that destroys the roots of virtue, the anger doesn't destroy the roots of virtue completely or utterly. So that's in relation to how anger destroys roots of virtue. As I mentioned before, they are the ways of virtue. The ways virtue destroyed by anger is, for example, the result of the roots of virtue that you experience is great, but because of this anger, the anger destroyed such roots of virtue that you will not experience a great result. Instead, you will only experience a small result. So similarly, a result that you are supposed to experience for a long time. For a long time, but because of anger, it destroys the roots of virtue. Then the experience of the result becomes shortened. It is shortened. Then similarly, a result that you're supposed to experience is thick. So in the direct translation, it would be thick, but it thin the experience of the result. So it makes a big result small, make a long result or lasting result become a short result, and then it makes a so-called thick result to become thin. So, however, anger will not destroy the roots of virtue completely.
군도째보다 개자 몇번 차로 말해야지. 내가 그것도 상대하는 거죠. 좋아. 군도째보다 개자 몇번 차만 가도 나지 그 양식 힘고 군도 개자 쫑스비 쫑을 단다디 셔버지스. 쫑서 간디진 쫑거에서는 예시 문제 중문제봐. 중문제봐. 전부도 중문제봐. 투보도 싸바제봐. 내리에서 쫑다의 도서리에서 쫑서 단다디. 어딜서 나타나고 그랬어. 뭐 군도도 제보다 남사 개자 싸우니 몇 번서야 니께 좀 말해야지. 어디서 나타나고다.
Yeah. And I also mentioned that the merit that will be destroyed by anger is the merits of merit or collections of merit. So when we say because anger destroys roots of virtue, then we have to understand how it destroys. The way it destroys is it makes the great result small, makes a lasting result a short result, and make a so-called thick result to become thin. So this is how anger destroys the roots of virtue.
Okay, so in brief, anger does not destroy the root of virtue, and when condition arises, the result will happen, but it will be lesser, thinner, shorter, less enjoyable, something like that. So condition come together, we still will enjoy the result of the virtue we have done, although we have anger before, right? So we still will experience the root of virtue. That's good news lah. I mean, even if you're angry, whatever root of virtue, then you still experience, but a little bit less, little bit shorter, little bit less enjoyable, less lasting, right? It's not completely
less or not, and then it depends on how strong the anger is. Yeah.
Correct. Not completely lah. That means we still experience lah the
part of it lah.
Okay.
咁短啦，因為空中幾扎啲中物啲，因為啲中當啲千波種種圓通，同突破啲沙或啲所謂啲中意嘅話，其實呢啲空中嘅幾位，其實空中嘅中嘅幾位走啊啲，談到啲斷見同突圍啦，因為我做談到啲節目啲啲用嘅話。this談到啲專注埋到下游，或者突然呢我做談到下游嘅話，下游嘅話，yeah, that is right. Yeah, your summary is true. So when anger destroys the roots of virtue, depending on the degree of the anger or the degree of the destructions, then when it meets with the conducive conditions, it will still arise. The result will arise.
Very good.
Ishla, you said that Lama Tsongkhapa disagree with other scholars who said that when condition arise, they will experience. But Lama Tsongkhapa said, no. When condition arise, you won't experience, right? That's what I heard last teaching. Yeah. Lama Tsongkhapa dispute with the other scholar who said what condition arise will have result, but Lama Tsongkhapa
kaisna ini dibagi chani shewai na ini dengi motopsi dibagi tani ini dibagi tani ini ditungi nang tuai na jebu tungi ding jie nyongi marwa isla yang keba shena ina dia tandu di jebu tungi ding nyongi ini di keba kita ina
다시 폴로 대바나시스 로요아 다시 폴로 대바나시 그 남진 데비 티지 요레스코 다 동아 랑세바 농구 말이스 다 해가 처럼 리바드 야고 지고 땅스 다 상도 야고 땅시스 very good you think
yeah
야고 땅시
yeah
아마도 대화에 개자로 빼 줄림본 nembo 도시 전에 내손 마치야게 디바 차치고 먹이 차치고 싸싸이나 아 내손에 누가 나한테 봐 요구야 제 요구 먹어 서서 한다 제나 제베도 다시 보는 디바 메기나 소소 뭐 칩 나와서다 세마든지 수바 나시 근데지 연구를 했어 원 맞아 제베 추마자와 뭐 근데 연구를 나 내가서 이게 제베 다 세바 동네랑 세바 누가 다 세면 이제 싸니 내가 차세 계속 말했어
Yeah, so as Kishla said that the way you think about it is very good, and then you connect these two together. The way you connect these two together is also very good. The logical way you connect these two together is also very good. So when we say that, when we purify negativities by applying 4 opponent powers, right? So then, then the negativities is purified, then you don't have to experience a result, right? So you don't have to experience a result means that you don't have to experience the fully qualified result. You don't have to experience the fully qualified result means that the full force of the results. So then we also say that even though the negative is purified, but it doesn't contradict the fact that karma doesn't go wasted. So it means that even though it is purified, one will experience the result like a bouncing ball. In hell, then like a bouncing ball, you born there, then immediately you get out of it. So yeah, so even though the negative karma is purified, you don't have to experience the full force result. But since the characteristic of karma is it doesn't go wasted, so one will experience the result like a bouncing ball. Like for example, if one were supposed to born in hell, then you will born in hell like a bouncing ball and then immediately get out of it.
There is a dipata, so the Nigeria, a condition she was not a number of Yongma, so only my chick mars, Dikijamashi,
Naming
Chimas our years ago.
Naming Jebu any Rangsen, but
answer by Yongma, that didn't know Marcus said it did but has a name of Toshin Shadow Tas, it none of it. That the reason only channel reported to the he has that reported
yeah. So this is so when we say you purify the 4 opponent powers, that you don't have to experience the ripened result. Then ripened result is in you don't have to experience the full force ripened result. That however, since karma doesn't go waste, karma do not go wasted, then one will experience a result like a bouncing ball, like for example. So the way you put this is very logical, and then it's kind of like a questions to debate. So it's very good.
That to this stuff here, I think you to get the question very
so yeah, it's very good. The way you put this in such a logical way, that is very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want the gates out in the gates or the Chitimba and Dodio. I love the Constitution to be Kinsey Genie to massage one is given Timber and Louis, but puts in the never be shot in the Jabata. And I'm mounted that Nialas of the Tapa new to Boyata. Yakanda, Tanibanya, not to the Robachini member Neo. That been looked into watching the Koran, some of that sitting in the DG pieces of a young Sanjich Kuba and Yutu Toyota. That since it's sitting this in the Sego Thomas and Tiban and Sanjich Kuba Yutu. That doing you watching what the continuity of a Yutu ditch in the is what. That missing also Carpurson, Tajala Savannah, which that took some of yours of Donny. Laya Temba and do it, and that you'll see 2 minutes pair. Is it 2 minutes pair of Maze? Master, no gino, she been in the church in Kolokone, or the church the Kogayo, what the dish gets away is what.
So we conclude with dedication. We dedicate the roots of virtue, especially through these Lama discussions, maybe a complete course for the Buddha Dharma to flourish in 10 directions, and for sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teachings, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, have excellent health, and may their holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously, and their enlightened activities be spread in all directions. In particular, we dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, Kyabshe Lama Sopa Rinpoche. May the holy wishes of Rinpoche be accomplished instantaneously, and may the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma and benefit sentient beings just like before. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail the world. May the world be free from disaster, wars, conflicts, and a pandemic. And may this disaster be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who pass away, especially those who pass away because of pandemic, wars, conflict, disaster. May their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these fruits of virtue to those who suffer or to those who are experiencing suffering, pain, and etc. So may they quickly be free from suffering and achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these fruits of virtue to those who help others, such as doctors, nurses, and those who help others financially or providing providing materials and etc. So may their life be filled with excellent happiness, good health, and may their wishes be accomplished immediately. And we, yeah.
Dage jene zabe
Kewa de tendang roa kula kambe dang kewa jesu lo zang ranga yi tembe nimbo rendo se je jo janju semjo rembo je ma ke wana ke gyu je nyamba me ba yang kone kondo me wa jo jambe ba we ji da ke ba dang kondo sambo de yang de shin de de da kun ke jesu da lo je yi da tam che rab do ngo tong yi da wa rembo je ma ke ba dang ke gyu je ke ba nyamba me ba yang kone kondo me wa jo ri da wa rembo je ma ke ba dang ke gyu je nyamba me ba yang kone kondo me wa jo du je su do ju be lang chi che se ze kan chen ten ju gun cha da be mo ten jing ya zo la de so shen de ren ro jo ji de ka de ben de ma de ba ka de jo e sam be yi shin no ka de so me ten jing ya zo la so wa de so de je ren ro jo di ba de be ni ran zo lo zang ya wa ya se kyu ba je ra ja xing ge kya yo ma de be de de be ba ju be ke le ze yen ren bo je ye ba ju be ji jin be wa la no ya mi shu su be ko cha je su be je je la ma zo wa de de ma de ge we ko je mo ge ye ten da ma kyo do wa yi de la ji do ze ba ze be mo ko ko chi ba je be di ni ba
wen da chu so jan zi shi la
da de se no ge tu ge la bo je kyu de de be ja pro se be jo ke sa de je pe do yu chi jo ka ge ra we ko we shin gang de pe da de wa ma lu jong we ne
ti re
se wa ten zi ga zo ye sha pe si de ba do den yu chi.
thank you
Thank you, Kishala. Thank you, everyone.
Everybody.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
And
And everyone.
Thank you, Ken.
Geshe-la.
Thank you,
everyone.
Geshe-la.
Thank you, everyone.
Ken La.